consciousness? What is perception? And what is the reality? These three different things: consciousness, perception, and reality. To simplify it, let me start breaking it down by saying that perception, like what we perceive with our 5 physical senses, is what reality is at each and every present moment. And that reality you are perceiving is the amount of concepts, or is the same and exact consciousness of who you are. Because we are not raising our, when people say that we raise our consciousness, we cannot raise our consciousness. Consciousness is just is. You cannot raise it. Is just is. Consciousness is what God is. You cannot raise God. You cannot raise God. You cannot raise God, therefore you rise in God, within God. So we rise in the consciousness. That much we rise is what reality is presented to us. The consciousness we are, the level we are of consciousness. I said, like, the reality we are experiencing are just but the concepts. When I say this, I mean that no one is perceiving anything outside of their concepts. There could be grander concepts, magnificent concepts. That is the much you are. You cannot perceive anything above that. You cannot perceive anything about your concepts. Where your concept is where your limit is. So it is your own concept which you are perceiving. And is at the same time is the consciousness you are. That level of consciousness you are. So your concepts are directly connected to the consciousness you are. When you say you are rising in consciousness, you cannot claim that you are rising in consciousness when your concepts are still old concepts. This thing we call consciousness, it's ever knowing. Therefore, if you say you are stuck to a concept, you can never rise, because a concept is an obstacle. What you put on your path becomes the path. So we are perceiving the concept we are. We are perceiving our own concepts. Even the God we are perceiving is our own concept. Those who are religious, they are perceiving. That is the God they are perceiving. There's nothing grander above that you can tell them. Someone who's religious, you can not tell them the universe is what God is. Consciousness is what God is. Because it's not their concepts. Their concepts are God, a being, a big being, supreme being, seated on some throne somewhere up in the sky with white beards. with two books on the right hand and the left hand for recording rights and wrongs, waiting to judge humanity. You cannot tell them God is that breath which you breathe. They will say it is blasphemy because God cannot be breath. They don't know. Their concepts does not entail that the word spirit comes from the word spirare, which means spirit, which is spirit. Spirit comes from word spirare, which means breath. When you tell them that breath you are doing, you are breathing, that breathing you are doing is what God is above their concept. So everyone is perceiving their own God. Some are perceiving the God where they go and just proclaim. That I surrender to you, God. Put me into your heart. Like God is something outside of them. When we will tell the people who have those concepts that listen, there is nothing outside of you. That which you are seeking is already with you, one with you, within yourself. They won't agree with that. They will see it as blasphemy because God is supposed to be a very big man. Failing to understand that God is too small to fit in your single cell of your body, and is too big and grander to hold the universe. There's nothing God is not. That is the omnipresence of God, being everywhere, therefore in everything, from the macro to the micro is the omnipresence of God. This is what consciousness is. When we are saying we are journeying back to God, it is us raising up in our concepts. And this is how we raise up in concepts. We never get stuck to concepts. We take concepts to be catalysts, to trigger the remembrance, because all that information we need, all higher concepts we need, they are within us. All infinite concepts are within us. We are in a state of forgetfulness, therefore we need something to bring us to the remembrance. This is how we use the concepts, not invalidating them, but using the concepts as catalysts, not taking them to be the final say. They are infinite concepts, and these infinite concepts are ever knowing. They are ever expanding and moving. When you stuck to this level, just know they are evolving, expanding to be greater, grander, bigger than you have imagined. This is what concepts are, which brings our reality. The word concept comes from the word conceive. To conceive is to give birth. Therefore, our concepts are the babies conceived. Concepts are babies. They are the reality. Concepts are conceived. Concepts are conceived by the higher mind, the mind of God within us, by the Christ mind. And people will say, if everything is a conception of the mind of God. Why does God conceive negative or down spiraling concepts? It is that the mind of God, or the Christ mind of the higher mind, is not biased. Is not biased. It does not know good or evil. The mind of Christ sees everything as Christ. What you present to it is what it brings forth into conception. Those are the concepts. They are very, very valid. Each concept, no matter how damning it is perfect. The way it is the reason why it is perfect, it is meant to be so because we made it so. When the scripture says that ye are gods, that is what it means. Everyone is perceiving their own reality in regard to the concept of who they are. When you are locking yourself into lower concepts, there is where you are. When you dump God, God dumps you back. Instead of venturing to discovery, to higher concepts, you get stuck to one. You are finished, because this is what the Master Jesus, who walked upon this planet, said, that my Father's house has many mansions. My Father's house has many mansions, and these mansions are here to be explored. When you are in the ground floor, you are not in the ground floor, you are in the car park basement with a rudimentary concept. When you are in the car basement with your rudimentary concept, just know that basement, on top of it, is a building with infinite floors. And each floor contains, the higher you go, the higher you discover new concept, the higher you go. The stairs. The more new concept you discover, the more your reality becomes new. Everything becomes new. The reality of yesterday ceases to exist. The crazy reality of yesterday ceases to exist, because to you make all things new all the time, not stuck into one concept. Every moment you know this is happening, but no, this does not define what my life is. There is more. What if? There is more. What if? If you are stuck to a concept, this aspect of what if ceases to be in your life. Because it is in the what ifs where the field, you open up to the field of highest potentials. What if? This is called what if. Because immediately there is something happening, no matter how grander it is, no matter how negative it is, circumstance, it is a reality. Reality is something that you are experiencing it through your physical senses. When you are seeing a situation happening at that moment, it is real. You cannot fix it. It is real. You cannot fix anything already in manifestation. You have to participate in that, because it is out of your own creation. What you are perceiving outside is out of your own concepts. It's the flow you are in the infinite tower of consciousness. The more you rise up, the more your outer reality changes, becomes new. And this is what, even it is there in their own scriptures. In the book of Genesis, this is what it says. The one who sitteth on the throne says, behold, I make all things new. The one who sitteth on the throne, which is the one that sitteth on the throne? It is God. It is the Spirit of God. Where is the throne? It is in the kingdom of God. Where is the kingdom? Jesus said, when they tell you it's here, it is there, do not heed to them, but it is within you. Behold, I make all things new. That is what the Spirit of God within is. And it does not make things new, meaning that things becoming good. Listen, it is things becoming new, becoming what they were not before. When you are having higher concepts, thought patterns, thought forms, and you drop down into negative emotions, that is what your concept will be. Immediately you fall into a negative emotion, it is your concept emotional. And it is picked by the one who sitteth on the throne within you. And he makes everything new outside. The circumstance was good, it turns to be crazy. These many mansions, you can be on the 147th floor. But if you decide to drop, if you are already on high vibrations, you are already on top of the staircase, when you give attention to what you left behind the other floors, you drop to those floors. Then your reality becomes new outside, it becomes crazy. That's why you are told the burdens never carry the burdens of today, of yesterday to today. Never carry the burdens of yesterday to the next day, which is today. Don't bring anything of the past to the present moment, lest you want your present moment to be the past. And lest you want to create your future present moment with what you are participating with in the present moment. So the flows are infinite and there are lifts everywhere. There are those who take the lift direct and never want to come back. There are those who are struggling and taking step by step, and they are getting overwhelmed and they rest on the steps. And this journey, rising above the top of this tower of consciousness, let me tell you, no one in this world is like how you are not in this journey to God. You are not in this journey of consciousness. Everyone is in this tower. It's only that others are delayed when they're climbing this while they're taking the stairs. There are others who just take the lift to they are chasing the tower because it is infinite, ever rising. And there are those who are taking the stairs and everywhere. Those like us, we're taking one step, and then we get a concept on the way, then we say, yeah, we found him. And then we get delayed. We get stuck because we take the concept. Then we make it our way. Now we found it on the second floor. Here we are. And then when we wake up again, no, there is something much than this. Let me continue climbing. It is in the what ifs where the field of infinite possibilities and potentials is. Everything, do not give finality to anything. This thing you have to know. Do not give finality to anything. This game is infinite. Don't give identity, final identity to anything. Everything here changes. Nothing remains the same. Every little thing in this physical realm changes. Don't give identity, final identity to everything. When the circumstance is crazy, yes, acknowledge that, because you cannot deny it. You are experiencing that negative circumstance because of your own concepts. That is why you are perceiving that reality. Do not deny it. And that one which is good, do not get attached to it. Yours is to acknowledge that, yes, this thing of light and this thing of darkness, I created them all. Therefore, acknowledging them and rise up in your consciousness, changing your concepts. When you change your concepts, you don't even have to have a concept. Keep that door of concepts open, that whatever concepts that drops in that hole of concepts within you, there is something grander above that, because this game is infinite. If something happens, yes, this is beautiful. But what if there is something more beautiful than this? And if that something more beautiful than that comes, what if there is? What if? What if is the field of potential possibilities, infinite potential possibilities. Consciousness is infinite. Perception is who you are. Consciousness is infinite, is the tower. What you are perceiving is that flow you are at. They are your concepts. It's that ideas of, I think I found it, let me take a rest in this flow. Your ideas, your thoughts are what makes you pick a concept, and that concept makes you, because it's a second flow concept, it is your thoughts which misled you with the ideas that here you have reached. So whatever we are perceiving is a direct and exact reflection of who we are. And actually, we are not perceiving anything outside of our skin. When we see, these eyes are just organs. They are just sensory organs sensing reflection of light. You are seeing nothing outside of yourself. You are experiencing your eyes, the energies which are being read outside by your eyes. You are not seeing anything outside of it. When you hear something, you are not hearing the music outside of you. They are your eardrums vibrating to the sound frequencies outside of yourself. You are experiencing your sensory organ, hearing sensory organ. When you are touched by your husband or your wife, let me tell you, you are not experiencing them. You are experiencing your own touch senses around your skin and everywhere around you. Touch sense. You are not experiencing them. And you will ask, why? Why am I triggered emotionally, this and that, when my girlfriend or my boyfriend? Let me tell you, you are triggered that it's because It's your eyes that's deceiving you. That's, who is touching me is my partner. Let me get horny. It's your mind. Let me tell you, the same partner can come and touch you from behind, and you will feel nothing unless you turn around and see them. And see them. Is when you get triggered. You are experiencing your own touch senses. When there is an enemy behind you, if he touches you, or you, like a story, there's somebody, this is a true story. It's a relative, he was traveling by foot long time ago, by foot through a forest, and darkness came and it was night, and he found some place and he went to sleep. And when he was sleeping, this is what his mind was telling him. It was his mind was telling him that the log which he was sleeping on was rotten and it was too soft. That was the mind. Experiencing a touch, this is a log. That is how it deceives. It's a log. Your physical mind knows nothing. It is here for your survival purpose. It knows nothing. It cannot know anything you are in touch with from your behind. Your physical mind depends on your eyes. Let it not deceive you. Your physical mind depends on your eyes for it to work. It does not even do the thinking. The thinking is done by the higher mind, or the Christ mind, or the mind of God within. And the higher mind, or the Christ mind, or the mind of God within, can only think when the physical mind stops thinking. They cannot work at the same time. The physical mind and the higher mind, they cannot work at the same time, and yet they are the same thing. You don't have two minds. It is one mind. And at the same time, the two minds, the physical and the higher. The physical mind can never work when the higher mind is thinking. The physical mind can never work when the higher mind is thinking. When the higher mind is thinking is what stillness is, stilling all the 5 sensory organs. Immediately you close your eyes, plug your ears, relax and still all the senses and just let your body be. Your physical mind shuts down. We are depending on the physical mind, but immediately you shut down your 5 physical senses, you've shut it down. It only works by perceiving through the 5 senses. You lock them down, you shut it down, the higher mind picks. When you are stuck in the physical mind, thinking of yesterday, today, tomorrow, the higher mind ceases to work. When they say be in the present moment is the moment. The present moment, this thing is infinite, ever moving, ever expanding, it's moving. The present moment is the momentum. Is to be in the momentum of that which is moving. The now, momentum of that. When you become in the now, present moment, your physical mind, when it's not working, you are in the momentum. That's why it's called the moment. To be present with the moment. Religious people say the presence of God. The presence of God is to be present in the moment. To be present in the momentum of that which is ever expanding, ever knowing, ever moving above the speed of light. Immediately you are stuck to your physical mind. You are stuck in time. Because the physical mind can never think of what is happening in the present moment. It can only perceive that which is happening in the present moment, but it cannot think about that. You can do it practically and you'll see. It can only perceive this is happening, but it cannot think that. The only thing it can think is about what is happening the next moment and what happened the last moment. Mind is what time is. Because time, when they say time does not exist, it does not exist. Time does not exist. It is a concept of your mind. Because whatever you are going to do tomorrow, you can only access it through thoughts. You cannot experience it now because it's not your reality. That which is unfolding now is your reality, people, the present moment. What happened yesterday or 1 hour ago, you cannot participate in that. You cannot perceive it in your reality. You can only perceive it in your thoughts, in your mind. Any past thing you can only perceive. It's not in your present moment. It's not in your reality. Reality is something real, unfolding now in each and every present moment. Past and future are concepts of the mind. You can never be in the past, in the now moment. You can never be in the future, in the now moment. They are concepts of the mind. You cannot experience them in the reality. And yet again, what you are experiencing, what you are perceiving in that now, the reason why you are taught to be in awareness, be in the present, because that which you are perceiving is the result of who you are in the past moment. Every now moment defines the past moment. Every now moment defines the past moment. And every now moment creates the next moment. This now moment, the now moment is the experience of the past of who you are. What you are, the past moment is what you are in the now moment. What you are in the now moment is what you'll be in the future moment. Therefore, everything is happening here. Experiencing the past, creating the future in the now moment. That is what consciousness is, perception is, and reality is.